there, thanks for taking the time to watch this video, and thank you for volunteering with the Cottage Grove Kids Ministry. I just want to get everybody caught up a little bit on what's going on in our ministry and what you can expect from us going forward. One of the ways that we are changing our Cottage Grove Kids Ministry a little bit is that we're asking everybody to serve consistently and persistently from October 14th going forward, and we'll be scheduling for trimesters. The reason that we're doing this is because we want to see kids ministry start to take part in spiritual formation. There's a lot of different ways that we can help form the spiritual lives of our kids, and I just want to give you a little bit of a vision for what some of those ways are. When you think about an infant coming into an infant room, if you're someone who's working with the infants through crawlers, you might be thinking that there is very little opportunity for spiritual formation, but part of our role is to help our kids know that they belong in church. So even with the infants, we're able to let them know that they are known and that they are loved and they are cared for. In the toddler and walker room, you can let our kids know that they too are cared for, that they can know God, and that they can pray. When you think about the 3s through kindergarten, we're laying a spiritual foundation of faith with them, and they're beginning to understand spiritual concepts and truth about who God really is. And in 1st and 2nd grade, that is when we really start putting together how faith works in the world around us. And so I am so grateful that you have decided to be a part of this ministry and decided to be a part of just what God is doing in our church and in the lives of the many, many kids that are coming. When we say consistent and persistent, we mean regular and fairly long-term. Long-term around here means 1 trimester. We'll be scheduling trimesters from January to April, from May to August, and from September to December, excuse me. But since we are in the middle of trimester here and we are going to 3 services, we will be scheduling from October 14th to December 30th for this round. And then you'll get a opportunity to recommit again for the next trimester. We will be having 3 specific volunteer positions, which is a little bit different than before also. So if you have served in the past, this is slightly different. But our goal is to have, first of all, bi-weekly volunteers in each classroom. So these volunteers will serve every other week unless they are out of town or unable to make it, but generally will serve every other week in the same classroom at the same time. So if you are someone who serves in our 9:45 3-year-olds room, the goal would be for every other week for you to serve in our 9:45 3-year-olds room with the same team. Same thing if you are someone who serves in our 11:30 pre-K class. You would serve in that same class every other week, ideally with the same team. That allows our kids to just know who you are, to become familiar with you and begin to trust you and our church more and more. The bi-weekly volunteers' main job is to make the kids be safe and to help them to just know what's going on in the class. Each room will ideally have a lead teacher as well. The lead teachers will actually oversee the curriculum and the room volunteers. So every week in our 3 through 2nd grade classrooms, we have a packet of curriculum, and our lead teachers will be helping us to go through that curriculum and deciding which pieces of curriculum to use and not use. The lead teachers will also give more clear directions to room volunteers. If you are in a room this semester or this trimester that doesn't have a lead teacher, which a few of them don't because we haven't hit our ideal yet, then you will be asked when you arrive to help fulfill some of the duties of the lead teacher for the time being. So please be patient with us and help us to work as we get toward what we believe is the ideal classroom for our kiddos. Lastly, we will have a coach position in each service. So each service should have its own coach that, again, unless they're unable to make it, will serve during the same service each week. So if you serve during the 8 o'clock service, regardless of which week you're serving, you should have the same coach each time, which will, again, allow for a greater relationship between parents and volunteers, and also between volunteers and volunteers. If you are unable to make your shift, your volunteer shift, we would ask that you let your lead teacher and your coach know that. And if you are finding a sub or switching with somebody, we also ask that you would let your lead teacher and your coach know that that is happening so that they can really keep a hold of the schedule and make sure that we have enough volunteers. This is a little bit of a shift, serving every week or every other week. The coaches will be serving every week, the lead teachers will be serving every week, and the weekly or the bi-weekly volunteers will be serving every other week. But we really believe that this is the direction that God is calling us to, both for the sake of our volunteers and the sake of our kids and the sake of our family. If you have questions about this specific structure, please give me a call or shoot me an email. I would be happy to help you. And know that we are still looking to fill some lead teacher roles and some biweekly teacher roles for this trimester. And we will be looking for more for the schedules to come. So let me know if you know someone else that might be interested in joining our team.